Olmos here. I've got some breaking news here. This is from WeLoveTrump.com. Pence receives strange coin after certifying the fraudulent election. Alright friends, this is really strange. Right after Pence certified the fraudulent election, he received a mysterious coin in a handshake. Almost looks like Pence is being rewarded for selling out Trump or being welcomed into the swamp. Mike Pence, donning a blue tie, receives the secret coin signifying his acceptance into the club. There is no loyalty in the political world. The mistake Trump made was thinking people would be loyal to him at the risk of their own careers. Mike Pence, that's from Dennis, #TruthOverTeams. Mike Pence receives a Masonic salute and the silver coin, sealed treason. The world is watching because the United States can change forever. President Trump, please trust Sidney Powell and declare martial law. That's from Latham for Trump. Mike Pence is getting a handshake. Looks like he's giving something. It's a coin. He taps him on the shoulder, and Nancy Pelosi gives him a tap on the elbow. What does that mean? Once again, the handshake. It was one hand and then two. Maybe a Masonic salute. Now I'm looking at the Politico. Politico has a video.
Declares the joint session dissolved.
But it's interesting here. It's called a close to the session. Puts on his mask. Somebody else is talking to Pelosi. But look at this, there's a cut. There's no handshake. Look, they just cut from there. They're not showing you the handshake. They're not showing you the silver coin. See that? There was a cut. That's Politico. So now she's going in for the elbow bump. Very interesting. That's how they do it in Bohemian Grove. This is a clip from Kevin Spacey's House of Cards, where they actually showed or portrayed the representation of a Bohemian Grove meeting in which politicians, they dress up in robes. They appear before a statue. There's an effigy. It's a burning of an effigy. We're giving them the benefit of the doubt in real life that is an effigy. On the handbook, when they go into the Bohemian Grove, it's a picture of a baby. So basically, they want to show a sacrifice to Moloch, the god of... This is a fake pagan god.
Alguns dos homens mais poderosos do mundo se reuniram nessa clareira. Membros de dos clubes mais exclusivos do nosso país. Só entra sendo convidado, a não ser que você se convide. Eles se juntam aqui para buscar Deus entre os galhos destas árvores magníficas. Eles comem juntos, mijam ao lado do outro e fatiam.
I'm not sure if this is a voiceover. I haven't seen this myself.
O verdadeiro poder está aqui. É proibida a entrada de...
Might be voiceover.
Não conseguirem influenciar no voto de uma nação inteira.
Either way,
Bom, isso
this is what they do in the dark woods in the dead of night. I believe Kissinger said, or was it Nixon?
Então,
I
bem-vindos.
believe Nixon said they dance around like fairies, you know. A lot of men, a lot of prostitutes there. This is near Nancy Pelosi's house in the Redwoods near San Francisco.
Where are you from? I'm Alex Jones. I have a TV show in Austin. I make documentaries.
This is a video with Alex Jones confronting
We're talking to David Gergen.
David
and
Gergen.
He has advised several presidents and, of course, has written quite a few books and is a, I would call you a political pundit or researcher. Commentary at Over the Hill, whatever.
He has a lot of questions, and then he gets to the good stuff.
Naked like they do. You joined as a Clinton advisor. The Republicans were criticizing you. Oh, what about Bohemian Grove? And then you countered them by saying, "Hey, I don't run around in the woods naked." What did that mean? Here is the before-mentioned Washington Times article. He said, "I didn't run around."
It says presidential counselor David Gergen resigned yesterday from the all-male Bohemian Club 3 days after saying he would not run around naked at a China Bohemian Grove encampment.
I'm naked like they do.
I don't know what quote you're referring to. I'm not aware of any quote like that. Listen, I am a happy member of the Bohemian Grove. I like the folks who come there, and it's really inappropriate for me to talk about the group beyond that. Thank you.
Have you been there for the ceremony with the cremation of care?
Frankly, I don't think that's something I need to talk to you about.
He's been real careful about what he says. This is the footage that Alex Jones shot around the year 2000, maybe? Late 90s.
Have you been there for the ceremony with the cremation of care?
Frankly, I don't think that's something I need to talk to you about.
Really?
That's right.
Well, I'm Alex Jones, and I snuck in there in 2000. I'm the guy that blew it wide open and got the video. It's been on national TV.
Well, I just
Got the
respect you for
video.
that.
You did?
I did.
There's a lot of big public officials going in there.
You
Don't
took-
we deserve enough?
You took an, I don't know anything about you, and I don't know anything about your film, but if you go in there with an understanding, you violated that understanding by releasing that film, and I don't respect you for that.
Really? But we have public officials there,
I'm
so
sorry, you
public-
took an understanding when you went in there that you would not do that film, and did you have an understanding when you went in there?
No.
Did you crash it?
Yes.
Yeah, and it has no trespassing signs there too, doesn't it?
No, they put
Yes.
in the bathroom.
Oh, I'm
I just
sorry.
walked in.
I'm sorry, sir. I've been there before. I know what the circumstances are, and I'm sorry you violated the understandings. That was not a gentlemanly thing to do.
But what about the ritual? Is the ritual genuinely?
Sir, everything. I don't owe you this comment.
Got up dead to rights.
This is what's called ambush journalism, and I disrespect you for that as well. So thank
Have you
you
ever
and
been
goodbye.
in the ritual?
It's none of your damn business.
Secret
Oh.
Society, DC scum.
That's right. Listen. You go around and make understandings with people and violate them. You ambush people on the streets, and that's an inappropriate form of journalism. If you wish to practice that, that's fine, but don't ask others to respect you for it. If you want to, you can do. You're a free American, like anything you want. If you want to be uncivil and rude and ungentlemanly, that's up to you. But don't expect the rest
You
of
guys
us
are
to
setting
say, "Oh well,
policy in
you're."
there, Mr. Gergen.
I'm sorry, nobody says policy in there. We try to be gentlemen, and obviously, you don't belong there.
Weaving spiders come out here? Yeah, that is a three-pointer. Woo!
Are here the demonstrators. We just don't. Listen.
Just look at him. That's a face keeping a lot of secrets.
That's
He's
right.
got some
Look at that.
stories to tell.
Ugly,
And remember that Washington
satanic.
Times article? It talked about all the other organizations that he resigned from.
Molech,
It mentions the
loving
Trilateral Commission,
face.
the Council on Foreign Relations. All of them groups dedicated to setting up a world government and destroying American sovereignty. You're looking at video that I personally shot during the cremation of care ritual held at Bohemian Grove. My documentary film, Dark Secrets Inside Bohemian Grove, details how world leaders from across the planet meet every July and actually engage in mock human sacrifices to the Canaanite deity Moloch. They bring a bound body in an effigy of a child and sacrifice it to the idol. And incredibly, most of those in attendance are our supposed Christian conservative leaders. Here's a video still I shot while I was inside of the encampment. You see a human skull in effigy. Look, to a certain extent.
Oh, some of these
They
pictures
released
are
this
interesting.
photo of a 1915 ritual. Here you have the hooded figure over the mock sacrifice. And here's a simulated hanging from 1908. In this picture, you see a photo from 1909 with what looks like public officials in attendance. A black boy is tied down to some type of table, and around him we see people in strange garb. I'll leave it to you to figure out what they're doing. In 2004, the Grove released this photo from 1934 of members in hoods. The Canaanite deity Moloch was worshipped in Greece, Babylon,
disturbing.
and then later in Europe. 1984, origin of the cult more in evidence than in former German Chancellor Helmut Schmidt's own autobiography, Men in Power. And in it we see pictures of George W. Bush and his father, Newt Gingrich. We see all of these different famous individuals there at the Grove. Walter Cronkite, Jimmy Carter, Jack Kemp, Richard Milhouse Nixon. The list goes on and on. Here is a November 1989 issue of Spy magazine. The Grove released photos of themselves dancing around dressed like women. And in the article, they admit that they do mock human sacrifices. The auditions of the Moloch idol, as well as discussing how they bus in male prostitutes and how AIDS was a big problem.
And they take all these rich politicians and some celebrities, and they bang these kids. And I was like, come on. He was telling me this a long time ago. So he's also the one who told me about Bohemian Grove. Well, I actually watched it. I think this tape was actually made before I met him. So he went and snuck in to this place where, like, former presidents go. There's a photograph of, it's Ronald Reagan with Herbert Walker Bush, and a couple other people all standing around. And it's like, these are the people that used to hang out at this place, and they would put on robes, and they would worship an owl god, and they would burn an effigy. And they're playing, and Alex snuck in and made video footage of this shit. And then no one's denying that it's real. This really did happen. So they're in with these bankers and former presidents, and they're dressed like druids. Yes. And some guy brings over something that's an effigy that's supposed to be a body, a wrapped up effigy. It's also a bunch of sticks in a blanket, but it's like shaped like a body. Yeah. And then they drop it on the fire, and they're all worshiping an owl god. Why is that? Before this,
You said, why is that bad? Thinks it's like a Burning Man for politicians.
And now they're lighting the effigy on fire, and everybody's cheering.
It looks fun.
Stanley Kubrick had this quote once to Nicole Kidman, I think it was. They were working on Eyes Wide Shut. See if you can find what she said about the elites that he had said. I know I saved it. I can find it if I have a chance to look at my laptop. But it was something about him, talking about the powers that run the world, and that they all have something on each other, and that's how they all can stay together. They all compromise each other. That's what Skull and Bones was about. Like, that's what all that stuff's about. So he had a much more concise quote on that. But when you see something like that, you go, well, like, maybe it's like fun that they do it, that nobody knows they do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's like one of those rituals where you get together, your dad thinks it's hilarious, and you both put your hoods on, you go out there and you burn the owl, or you burn the sticks in front of the owl. And what's fun is that you're not supposed to be doing it, and it's a secret, but nothing really is happening. That's also on the table.
I see, dude. Forget me.
That's unfortunate. Because here, it doesn't matter whether you have forgotten it, or if you never knew it. You will kindly remove your mask.
Turns out it's Mike Pence. Looks like Mike Pence. Maybe that's how he got compromised.